So we got to Mecca now, and we got to Mecca through the stories of the pre-Islamic Arabs and some of those materials about the tubas. And if you look at your Quran, I think I didn't bring my good Quran here, but there is a verse towards the end of the elephant. Here it is, Surah 105. And there's a little description in my Quran about the background of this. At the time the surah was revealed, many men in Mecca probably knew what happened. The allusion is to the campaign of Abraha, the Ethiopian ruler of South Yemen, against Mecca, who wanted to destroy the Kaaba, that's what they say, in the year of the Prophet's birth. I'm sure if you asked Abraha what his intent was, I don't think that would have been his picture of what his intent was. In any case, since he had elephants in his army, this impressed the Arabs, and tradition says that the elephants refused to advance because of the swarms of flying creatures that pelted the Abyssinians with stones. The flying creatures may well have been insects carrying infection. Nobody knows what really happened. I'm batting that. Only that Mecca was saved and it was considered somewhat miraculous salvation. So this is the story, Surah of the Elephant, 105. Hast thou not seen how thy Lord dealt with the owners of the elephant? Muhammad, or the angel speaking? Did he not bring their stratagems to naught? You can have a different translation, I'm sure. And send against them swarms of flying creatures, which pelted them with stones of baked clay, and made them like green crops devour? End of surah. Now, for the believer, that is a surah. For the outsider, that is a snippet or a fragment of some information, very poorly remembered, and unless you know the whole story from some other source, you would not be able to figure out what he was talking about. So the people who write the commentary say, well, oh, this is what he was talking about. But even if you knew the story from another source, as we do, what he means by flying creatures dropping stones of baked clay, nobody has ever been able to successfully determine so that others can comprehend what they're talking about. There are not supposed to be any miracles in Islam. So what happened is not clear. People theorize maybe disease broke out in the Ethiopian camp, maybe smallpox or something, and they're trying to do a representation of smallpox, something. Anyway, something happened that discouraged the Ethiopians, even with their elephants, and they went back. That's basically what is remembered. When I said a snippet, I really mean that. Now, a believer doesn't like that language. He or she thinks that everything is of equal worth because it's all equally supernatural. That's okay. That's their view. But from a secular academic point of view, this snippet of material is not as impressive as the Surah of the Cow, which is about 25 pages long and full of a lot of information and data and so on. And that tells you something about the organization of the Quran. And I think it also tells you something about the editing process. How was it edited? You say, well, things aren't edited. Oh, yes, they are edited. Someone sits down and puts the material together and puts it in its final form. And the claim of the historians, this was done under the Caliph Uthman's reign. Now, Uthman was the third caliph, and Muhammad died around 632. The next caliph was to about 634. The next caliph was, I think, about to 644 or so. And then Uthman was, this is Uthman then, around, I'm not sure I got these right, but 656 or somewhere there, and about 12 years there in the 40s and 50s. So about 20, 30 years after the Prophet's death, Uthman is killed. And so 20, 30 years after the Prophet's death, so the Muslim historians